Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Soul Blazers. Today we're going to head on into the Soul Shrine and see what we can do to free the Guardian of Greenwood. So this is the third of the three shrines that are located in this area. So far, very nice. Coming out in a good pace, the way I like it. Now the monster layers, when you step on them, most of them are going to open up some of those light barriers. They don't damage you when you walk into them, but they are just basically walls. Good time for some magic there. That's why the magic is a little randomized for my taste with that thing floating around, but if you're patient, it actually works out very well for you. I'm eager to see what the rest of the magic looks like. These things, they don't make any kind of noise. They just stop when you swing at them. So they're not metal. But you can't kill them either. And I'm pretty sure there are a couple of monster layers connected to them also. So I'm curious to see what's gonna damage them later on. I don't know why, but the way this is all set up reminds me of the very first Metal Gear, when you get the infrared glasses and you can see the radar lights, but they all emitted out of these sort of square towers the way these things are. First time I saw this, I thought of the first Metal Gear. That was a good game. That's another retro game that it's understandable why people liked it. It's understandable why it got follow-ups and became such a big, a big franchise. But the first game, it had its issues. It hasn't aged very well. And I've always said if I was a programmer and I could make retro games or enhance the games in some way, I would just go back and add maps to some of these games. Add some item stacking, things like that. Games like that, they're so great, but then, especially by today's standards, even back then it was kind of an issue, but by today's standards, they show their age very, very well, and it's not a pretty sight. More of these invisible guys. There we go. Stack up. There we go. Whew. That is a well-needed level. Again, I'm being kind of reckless. I'm pretty sure I just missed those gems by half a pixel. Yeah, this sort of reckless playstyle, it's definitely not the best thing you should be doing, but I'm curious to see if I'm gonna pay for it later. I've played games where you can be reckless in the beginning, but because you're not learning the fundamentals and you're not learning how to step with care, you end up paying for it later. So I'm praying to the master that that's not going to happen. I'm never a huge fan of these dark areas. I mean, it would be fine. It would be fine if it was just a light around me, but because the light that I have is moving around also, it's kind of disorienting. Again, nothing, nothing game-breaking, nothing that I'm gonna, if I ever see this again, I'm gonna put the controller down, but it does get a little bit disorienting. What I need is a Pokemon that has Flash. That would help me out a lot right here. You'll have to excuse me, at the same time that I'm playing through this game, I'm playing Pokemon Blue, so I got a lot of that on the brain. You would think those torches would provide some sort of extra light. Hey, you got a little something there, but There we go. That's a monster lair. That's almost a welcome sight. Remember, when your enemies appear, that means you're going in the right direction. Sometimes a good life lesson also. You know, people get mad when they encounter haters, but you know, haters mean you're doing something right and they don't like it. Maybe they don't like it because they're not doing it. Maybe they don't like it because they're not doing much of anything and you're making them look worse. It wouldn't be so bad with these fire guys, but then the invisible guys, you gotta run into the room and take care of them. There we go. And that mole's gonna be a little bit of a pain later on. Ah, back to the shrine. Yes, I do wish to continue. I'm gonna head right back in. I have no shame in multiple saves and heading back to restore my health. This isn't a speed run. I'm not trying to win any awards. I'm trying to survive, free the animals, and basically just get through, show you all a good time. I didn't want to go back. Actually, yes, I did. I'm approaching the end of the shrine, so what I wanted to do was come back and find the armor, get a few items. Alright. Follow the proper squirrel. See if you can get it. Let me know in the comments if you were able to pick it out right. Woo! And a medical herb. Yeah, I guess since you can only have one, they try and make sure that you've got it with you. Yeah, I think I was in there before. I have a hard time remembering which things I already checked out. The Master's Emblem C is something that they'll explain a little bit later. If I remember right, if you get them all, you don't use gems to use magic, but again, they're going to explain it in a little bit. Alright, that's Monmo. I have to take him to his house, but this... You know, of course he walks really slow because escort quests, they always walk slow. He gets caught up on everything. Then I always forget how this worked, because he said he was going to stand in front of it. Now that's the correct place. I'm pretty sure that's the correct place. But what you actually have to do is walk with the character and drag him over the hole, and then he'll stand there. So let's go back and get the quest again. There are some, every once in a while there are these little things that you're supposed to do that, and this isn't just this game, this is games in general, that just kind of drive me nuts as to how, you know, don't walk so fast. I'm not really walking fast, buddy. I'm leaving you with me. Yeah, this was me trying to figure out if I was supposed to talk to him or if he just supposed to stand there. Yeah, sorry about the repetitiveness of that. That's what I thought it was that one, but I don't believe it is. I believe it's the one on the left. This place is so bright I cannot see. Get him some sunglasses or something. Oh, they always go so slow. What I was trying to do there was to get him to step over. There we go. But it wasn't the right one. But I was trying to get him to step over the hole. I thought about leaving him. Because I don't think it turned out to be this one. No, see, he just walked right past it, which means it's not that one. See, I remember that part of it where he's going to stand over it. Come on. See, that's what you have to do. You have to manipulate it so that he stands over the hole. Now I stand here for a second because he says he's going to give me a present. But then you have to go and follow him in. And it's in the treasure chest. Which is the item that we need. So now we can head back. Oh, that's that one over there that's going to scare you. There we go. But you got to remember to equip those things. That's Monmo's ribbon. Alright, I will move if you let me have it, or something. I didn't know he was a ghost. Both of us fell in love with Monmo. One day Monmo was captured by evil. It's just so generic. Tried to rescue her, but never came back. Suddenly he appeared. I had no idea what happened to him. Anyway, take this bracelet and revive Greenwood. I know those two moles would have liked to live here in peace. Shield bracelet, that's a pretty decent item right there. I will warn you, if you're wearing it and you're about to die, don't forget to switch back to the medical herb. Ah, turns out that tree is asleep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could have done this earlier. I gotta be honest, that was, to me, that's a very deep moment. That the tree stump, rooted in where it lives, dreams of being a bird that can fly anywhere. I kind of relate to that. That's some super deep stuff right there, and I like that. And now we have the ice armor, so we can walk over those fiery floors that we will not encounter for the rest of this area. But bear in mind, we obviously may encounter more of them later, but we have also been passing monster lairs that are connected to monsters we can't kill yet. So we'll be coming back to these areas, and possibly the ice armor will be useful then. Alright, now we know that we're getting towards the end of the area, so always remember to save. The last thing you want is to make a bunch of progress and then die to the boss, and you're stuck all the way back. And thank you to the designers, if anybody happens to be watching this, to put those those teleports right there by where the boss is going to be in the final areas of each level. Monster lair connected to those fiery things, I guess. That pattern on the floor is always pretty important. Pretty basic pattern, not made of metal, so I can swing away at him. And he's dead, but that ain't the end of it. Looks like we got 2 more things. There we go. Unfortunately, the AI is, locked in its pattern, and sometimes you get these little exploits. There we go. Just wail on them at this point. There don't seem to be a lot of, or any mid-bosses or anything. So usually when you get to a boss, you know that you're at the end of the area. So you just unload on them. I'm not too worried about burning my medical herb. But you see there, I almost forgot to have it equipped. Even though it wasn't necessary. Oh. And there goes the good music. That means that I have freed the land. 1 more monster lair that I can get at this point. And the Woods Guardian, because let's face it, if you've got a forest and a fantasy land, the Guardian is always a big giant tree with a face on it. I think if I was to design one, he would have like glasses or something made of other branches or stones or something. I'd want to change him up, make him look a little different. And I'll name him Leaf Garrett. No? Okay. I could make it a female. Make it Michelle Branch. Nah, I assume that name is also taken. This was always kind of a sticking point for me. It would have been nice if they let me turn around. This is gonna get a little tedious. I think I go back and I search, or I probably edited it out. He said he buried something was buried near his roots, so I always end up poking around at the roots, trying to figure out where the heck it's buried. But then what happens is he said that it was buried, but he gave it to you, which was the stone that you need. The Master's emblems are all over the world. They are fairly difficult to find. Collect all 8 emblems and will not require gems to cast magic. This will make fighting much easier. Yeah, so that we got that emblems, Master's Emblem C, I believe it was. When you get all 8 of them, you don't have to spend gems to use magic. But that's it. We have freed everything we can in Greenwood. And we have the stone, free the Guardian of Greenwood, and we've saved the game. So next time we're going to move on to a brand new land. Let's see what we got here. It looks like water. Oh, God, water. Okay,